Hey folks, my name is Tony Aguilar, and I'm going to be doing a video here on what I brought back from Hurricon. Hurricon is HMGS South. They're one of their biannual cons. It's the one in September, usually at the end of September every year. They also have the other one that is Recon, which is at the end of April every year. It's held in Kissimmee, Florida, and for those of us in Florida, it's kind of our local convention here, Historical Miniatures Gaming Society. And I wanted to go over some of the items that I was able to pick up. And I did one of these for Historicon, and some of you found it interesting. And these are fun to do. So I don't usually buy a whole lot of things because I've been in this hobby for a while, and I kind of have plenty. But I wanted to show you some of the stuff that I did pick up and what I think about it, and maybe you'll find that interesting. So the first thing I want to go over is the paints that I picked up. I have a whole bunch of paints, plenty of them, several hundred probably, of Vallejo. And one of the colors I was out of is this chocolate brown, which is one of what you've watched one of our other my videos on the basing. It's one of the main colors I use. So it just happened to be there, chocolate brown, and I knew I was getting really low on it, so I wanted to pick that up. That was an item. And also, I remembered before I went actually to the show, I remembered to bring my color chart. And what I mean by that is, way back in the day, this is probably, I don't know, I've had this for like 15 years, Brookhurst Hobbies used to have online all of their, they used to be the guys you could get Vallejo paints from. It's old price here, and this is probably 14, 15 years ago, whatever, when they had this. And I printed it on a computer and basically had a display of all their I don't know exactly how I did this, but it had basically a listing of all their colors. And when I got the paint, I actually took a little piece here and painted the color next to it. So it was a way for me to find out what colors I had and which ones I didn't. I kind of had to piece it together here. I'm not sure. It really didn't print right, but I wanted to make sure I didn't leave any of the colors off. And but as you can see, I have most of the colors. There's a few of them that was missing, so I remembered to take this with me so that I could see if there was a maybe pretty neat one that I was missing to add, since if any of the vendors had the Vallejo of the full line there, I'd be able to pick it up. And sure enough, this one missing right here, black green, is this guy I picked up. It's actually really, it's pretty, I don't know if it's that much black in it, but it's a nice color, so we'll fill that one in. I saw some of these other ones here, and they all are kind of the same. They're colors that I don't think are really that useful. They're really almost ivory, sand yellow, light yellow. Those things are pretty pale, so we're just going to pass on that. Since these are about $4 and change a piece, I decided not to get one, but we're going to add black green to our collection. So that's these two paints. I use other paints other than Vallejo, but the majority of them are Vallejo. Okay, so moving on. Speaking of Vallejo paints, for the most part, I like them, and but sometimes you get some that are incorrigible and don't want to mix up right. So I've been thinking about getting these for the longest time, is these mixing balls, and they're just stainless steel ball bearings. And I picked these up from one of the vendors. I would tell you what vendor it is, but I don't remember. I don't remember really what there was. They don't think they had their sign up and everything, but they're the ones that I bought stuff from them before at our Recon convention. But they're Army Painter mixing balls. I think there's like 100 of these things, and yeah, 100 in there. It's like $6 for 100. I have a feeling I won't have to buy these ever again, because I don't think I'm going to drop these in every single bottle. Just ones that seem to not mix up really well, and there's most of the colors are fine. It's just some that cause problems. So hopefully this will be helpful and be able to get a better mix with those. Okay, and set that off to the side. And I also wanted to pick up some sculpting tools. Not really for sculpting. I don't do any sculpting and don't plan on doing any. But if you've watched my basing video, I use toothpicks and usually like a piece of balsa wood that I crafted down to apply my basing material. I figured these might be pretty useful to get in between all of the parts there and be able to get the Liquitex basing material on the stand and maneuver in there better. And these come with 3 of these tools, and they're double-ended, so We got a larger one here, and that we could probably put in the larger areas of the stand. And I have a feeling these will probably be really useful. These were $11, so a little pricey, but they look like they're good quality, and I think I'll be using them for a while. But anyhow, I wanted to get that up. So those are the two things. Those things I purchased. Also, in this regular vendor haul, I normally don't buy things at a flea market, but I did manage to see this game here, and it was quite a steal. And I just couldn't pass this up. I normally don't play board games because I don't mind playing new games. I just don't want to read the rules. So if I struggle with this, I may be giving this to Scott for him to read over the rules. But this is Arquebus, Men of Iron by Richard Berg. The Battles of Northern Italy, 1495 to 1544. You guys know that when I was working on the DBA-RRR, I am a big fan of this period. I'm a big fan of this period, and I'm a big fan of this geographical area, Italian Wars. Love it. So this is basically, we're going to go back to this. We are going to do a little unboxing of it at the end of this video and see what the parts are on it. Okay? But it's basically brand new. And, you know, as many gamers, this gentleman, I think, got it, and he told me don't think he played it or anything. So we'll take a look at that at the end. We're going to move it off to the side here. So we run our DBA games and stuff, and I was presented with this from Ray Phillips, who's a convention coordinator, just a certificate appreciation for running some DBA stuff. And of course, it's not just me; it's Mitch helps as well, and I can't do it with all the players that show up to play this fun game that we all enjoy and we've enjoyed for a long time. So I appreciate Ray recognizing the effort that not myself but also other people do in this, and that's very thoughtful. And we're going to put this up in my game room, not my game room, but my paint room somewhere. I appreciate that, Ray, and hopefully we can get you showing up to play DBA as well, Ray. I know, Ray, you've played a couple of games, but you know, you're always welcome to come by and pick up, and we'll give you some pointers, and we could roll some dice. All right. And we had 4 tournaments at this last one. Managed to win one this time. It's for the Horde Wars. And normally I wouldn't bring that up because it's not really something I got. But it was an event that was actually run by David Sheps. David Sheps is one of our DBA long distance members. He's from Michigan, so he travels frequently. I think he's made every one of our cons here for like 3 or 4 years, so we appreciate seeing him twice a year here, and of course at Historicon when he shows up. When he comes down to Florida, he likes to run a game, which we welcome, and he always has some good ideas and do some different things. And he happened to run one that he ran was Horde Wars, and it was basically every army had to have a minimum of 1 horde stand, and in the matchups, whoever had the more horde stands, so if you had one army that had 1 horde stand and another one that had 2 or 3, the one with 2 or 3 would get an extra die that they could use as a reroll. You can only use it one time, even if you had 2 or 3 more horde stands than the other opponent. You would still get only 1 reroll die. But that was neat, and I managed to win that with my early Russians and Horde Wars. So there you have that, a plaque I made for all the events. And David Sheps was generous enough to donate also a prize. And this is from Blue Moon, and it says hut with courtyard. It looks like a little Celtic hut, so we'll be able to use that, hopefully paint that up soon, and use that in some of our videos as some kind of a BUA, built-up area there for the armies. Okay, so that's pretty much what happened at Hurricon. Got to see some new people that we've never met before. I got one gentleman that actually traveled all the way from Arizona to come to our show, so I do appreciate that. And I believe he had a good time. We had a good time having him over, so good times by people that travel long distances, and of course the locals. Had a couple guys that we hadn't seen in a long time, and they decided to come back again. All right, so we're going to move this stuff to the side, and we're going to take a look at Men of Iron, Arquebus. All right, normally I'd probably do a separate video for this, but I'm sure there are other videos. I did not look on YouTube to see if anybody else had done an unboxing video on this GMT game. I'm probably certain that there are on there. Let's go ahead and move this stuff all the way off, because there are probably some things that you guys are going to want to take a look at. And I really haven't looked at this at all. I got it, and I kind of wanted to kind of have a surprise for myself as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at the back. Okay, and Arquebus battles for northern Italy. And get this here centered so you guys can see it. Got some sample counters, and the complexity meter is medium complexity. That's good. I don't want something super complicated. And solitaire suitability 7. I'm not sure how that works. It does say players 1 to 2, ages 14 plus. So hey, I got that a couple times over, so we should be good. And we've got game contents is some 2 back printed maps, 22 by 34, 3 full color counter sheets, 3 player aids, 2 D10s, a rule book, and a battle book. The game scale is 500 to 1,000 for the pikemen, and 300 to 400 for the missile troops, for the units of light cavalry, and 150 to 200 for the men at arms, and 4 to 6 cannons per counter. Playing time 1 to 6 hours, 1 to 5 hours on the playing time. Each hex is 125 yards. So I figured, for $10 for this game, I can't go wrong, and it is something that I might even use for some scenarios for the early Renaissance period. So we're going to open this up. And we've got a couple D10s in here. Nice. We have the GMT baggies that GMT supplies in all their games to keep everything organized. Okay, we got a rule book, battle book here. Not the rule book, but the battle book. And the battle book has, let's see what we got in here. Okay, here's I guess the step-by-step of the battles we have in here. So let's just read off what we got. We got the Battle of Fornovo, which is the Italian alliance against the French. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is nice. This is you get your setup areas here on the map, and also, oh, I like this. You've got where these units are located, and who. You got King Charles VIII, Pierre de Rohan, Jean de Foix, Louis II. Oh, so you got all the leaders here, and that's going to be really handy for when I start painting some of these other Renaissance armies. I've got an Italian Condata that's kind of on my short list to paint, and we're probably going to do them with, we can use some of the heraldry, maybe some of the flags of this period. That'll be cool. Okay, so this is, it's like 3 pages for this battle of Fornovo, and it's full color here. Special rules. Cerignola. This is the French and the Spanish. So, and this is, looks like it's one map called Fornovo here at the top. And actually, the map actually has the actual board printed here on there. So it's probably going to be a custom map specifically for this battle. That's nice. Okay. Go here to the second one where it was at. Cerignola. Okay, so this is looks like a small map here. This is French and Spanish in Italy. Of course, they're all going to be in Italy. Setup area. That's probably, I have a feeling this is probably going to be the smallest battle and probably the one that we'll play first. Okay, Agnadello. This is, I believe Agnadello is French versus Venetians. I could be wrong. Venetian army, French army, yeah. So this is, there's going to be some historical stuff in here as well, some details that are really neat. And this is on a map that's called Battle of Agnadello. So it is a special map for this battle. I like that, instead of just having a generic battlefield that kind of applies to everything. So We've got Ravenna, and Ravenna is, I believe it's French and Spanish again. Yep. Yeah, Battle of Ravenna. Looks like another special map here, up here for that. This is the battle where the Spanish were kind of in some protective terrain. That's going to be Spanish on the defense. Definitely on that one. Marignano. This is French and Swiss. And let's see what we got here. Okay, Battle of Marignano. So we got a lot of these battles all have specific boards for them. I definitely like that. Battle of Bicocca. Okay, and that is the French and Spanish. This is, I think this is the one where the Swiss that were fighting for the French didn't do too well. They were like the awesome guys at the time, and I think this is the one where they didn't do really well. But we'll see. This is another cool battle there. And Pavia. Pavia's definitely got to be a huge map, I'm going to guess. And it is. Yep, there we go. And this is, the city that's under siege. We got Spanish units here, or Imperial units, I should say, Spanish and Imperial Army. You got French around them, and then you've got the French here, and then the Imperials break in through the north, through the north part of the defenses. I've played that battle before by Jim Riley, who's run it before in one of our conventions, and that was a lot of fun. Okay, so do we have other things here? Oh, Sarasol, I think that's how you say that one. This is, I believe, the last battle of the Italian Wars. It's considered. It's 1544. It's kind of at the end of it. And Jim Riley's actually also ran this one as well in a miniatures game using the RRR rules. And this is exactly what it looked like. It was a hill and another hill, and they're both on both sides. And I believe I played the French in that one when we did that. And extended play examples. All right. Very nice. Not like a DBA rule book at all. We actually have some explanation here. People rave about Richard Byrd's rules. I've never played any, so this might be really cool to see what they're all about. We have an extended sequence of play. They're on the back of this here, kind of glossy here, so we're going to try to get the shine so you guys can see it. All right, so that is the battle book, which is kind of a scenario book. All right, we're going to go to the maps last. And there are several of them in here. There are several maps. What do we got here? Weapon System Matrix for shock and charge. This is some thick card here. Nice, full color. Okay. Charts that remind me of ASL a little bit. And that doesn't scare me. Advanced Squad Leader was actually pretty easy for me to pick up. I was a lot younger then, so maybe I don't expect any trouble with this. So hopefully it's well written. Nice. Okay. We've got a flight point track, which I would imagine is a morale type of thing to keep track of your morale. Force morale type thing. Okay, front. We got anything on the back? Nope, just got a white black background on that. We've got this is another map. There's a lot of maps in here. And counter sheets here. We got French, and I bet the French are blue. Just going to take a stab at that. French are blue, and with obviously the Swiss working when they work for them as well as mercenaries. And then we have, we got some Swiss that are a different color as well. So, well, here it says this is all French. So we've got French and pikemen and that kind of stuff, heavy cavalry, some cannons and leader counters here with a fleur-de-lis. And here they have the Swiss and the Spanish, and they are double-sided, right? Yep, double-sided. And got those there, nice counters. And the third counter sheet is French and Venetian. Okay, entrenchments and different type of markers for whether they're engaged or have you. I'm not really sure. They're small counters. They're are they half-inch? I guess it would be half-inch counters. So that is the moving parts of the game. So let's take a look at the maps. And some of the reviews I've seen of games, they actually don't fold the maps out. Yeah, we're going to fold the maps out because I know you guys want to see them. I want to see them too. I haven't seen them yet, so I am excited to see what they're all about. And unfortunately, oh, well, we got the big one first. Okay, so this is Pavia. Okay, and we're going to do a little bird's eye camera view here. Hopefully it's not too shaky, but it is pretty big map. And of course, when we play these, I'm a big fan of plexi. Actually, when I did this kind of board games, they were all mounted before. These paper type maps, just, they weren't even a thing. It was all Avalon Hill, and everything they did was hard mounted. So since that's not a thing anymore all the time, I'm a big fan of plexiglass. So we will be playing these on plexi for sure. Because you don't want to put things, guys, here, and then they'll pop out, and the counters will go all over the place. So this is the Battle of Pavia, or Pavia. Okay. And on the back side, this is the biggest map, I'm going to guess. On here, we've got, we've got several battles on the back. Pavia is so big that it's got several maps on the back. So we got Sarasol over here. And here is the two ridges. And one for the French and one for the Spanish. And then we go over here, the Battle of Bicoca, up here at the top. Okay, kind of a small map. I don't know, it looks like a maybe 12 by 18 size map. And down here at the bottom, we've got Battle of Cerignola. And it's really comfortably small. So I have a feeling this is probably the one that you start with to learn the system, since it is very small battle. And you got some terrain charts. Looks like the terrain charts are only for this battle. I wonder why. Maybe that's, I guess they all have a map key here at the bottom. The Sarasol one has the map key down here. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. This is, so you got one map sheet that has 4 maps on it. One large one and 3 smaller ones. So let's make sure we fold this correctly. Well, I haven't folded an actual map in a long time, so we're gonna do that a little later. Okay, over here we have another map sheet. Okay, this one has 2 maps on it. Okay, so far I'm really liking these. They're really pretty. Got some color on them and stuff. We got the Battle of Fornovo, which actually I would have thought would have been a really big battle as well. It's kind of nice that it's not the entire map sheet like Pavia. So Battle of Fornovo here over the River Taro, and nice blues there for the river. And over on this side we have the Battle of Agnadello, and it's half the map, and the Fornovo is a little smaller than half the map. You've got a terrain effects chart up here, terrain chart there. Okay, so on the back side of these two guys we have 2 more maps. Okay, we got the Battle of Ravenna over here on this side. Even has the trenches here and defenses that the Spanish are going to be setting up behind it. And Battle of Marignano. Got a couple of little townships and things like that. So interesting. Okay. Okay. That's 2 maps down, and I lost count of how many battles it is already, but I have a feeling it's about 8. We're doing pretty good. Is that all of them? Oh, that actually might be all of them. Now, one thing it looks like I skipped over is, in going over here, There's some other things that were included in the box. Let's see, we did this one. They were hiding in there with the box. There's actually 2 sets of these. Looks like basically a terrain effects type thing, like the QRDC that used to come with the ASL games. Thick card. And the rules. Hey, the rules manual. Let's talk about that last. I thought I would have found that at the top of the box. But introduction, full color, glossy pages, and talks about all of the items here. How many pages is the rules here? 20. And there's an index in the back as well. But 20 pages. Looks all to be full color. Movement. Missile fire. Good old Zoc. Zone of control. Stacking. Well, hopefully it doesn't have a whole lot of stacking. Games that have a lot of stacking, I'm not a big fan of. Not really because of myself, but I know many people are kind of clumsy, and you don't want to knock down a whole lot of things when you're doing that. But we'll see. It looks like a pretty game, so we might just stick through it here. Shock. Charging, counter-charging. Combat results. And rallying unit special rules. And there it is. So there is Men of Iron. So we're going to give that a shot hopefully in the future. I figure it's definitely going to be good for some scenarios. If nothing else, $10 can't beat it. And well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of grab bag of things that I got from Hurricon, and you find it useful. Please subscribe to watch any of our other materials. I know we've been basically a DBA channel, but we're going to be doing some painting tutorials and some other things that maybe you guys will find interesting and you will enjoy as well. All right, this is till next time. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.